Undoubtedly the biggest game of the weekend, save the best until last and whatnot. Manchester United hosting Arsenal. The bookies are struggling to call this one definitively. You can see there 2.55, 2.55. 2.55 is the lowest you will get for Arsenal, with the best being 2.67 on Marathon. This is the odds comparison tool. You can compare, let's say, BTTS, and we'll see all of the current market prices. Manchester United are getting better with every game. They're getting more confident anyway. Casemiro will probably start this game, you would feel. You know, we're quick to slate McTominay when he's had a bad game, but I think we've got, you know, if you're going to slate him like I have in the past, hold my hand up, because, you know, he's passing it out of play multiple times this season in one game. Fair enough, slate him, but on the other side of the coin, when he plays like he did against Leicester, which was really, really good, you've also got to praise him. You know, he's showing signs of improvement in his game. But this is going to be a great game, I think. I hope it isn't flat because of the time and the midweek games and stuff. Because if Arsenal turn up and maybe they get an early goal, we could be in for a cracking Premier League tie. I don't think Manchester United will be too concerned. Martial, they'll be hoping to get him back soon, but the injury is worse than first feared. For Arsenal, those two there, Elneny and Partey, same position, so that's kind of why they were trying to get Luiz out of Aston Villa on deadline day. Xhaka and who? Passes per game. Passes completed, 438 for Arsenal, 554 per game for Manchester United. It's sort of what you would expect given the start that Manchester United made. Those first two games to Brighton and Brentford, really, really poor display in terms of moving the ball about and general passing. Tough time for Harry Maguire. Tough time for Harry Maguire, it really is, and you sort of feel sorry for him, but it's just, that's football, isn't it? If Varane comes in and you keep 2 clean sheets and you look confident and you look assured as a back 5 or back 4, whatever, then what can you do? It's unfortunate, but that, as I say, that is football. There is an average of 3.08 offsides per game for Manchester United across the last 25 games. 2.69, so slightly lower for Arsenal. Next up, I'm going to take a look at the referee stats, and then we will end with player stats. Paul Tierney is the man in the middle. We can see that he's refed 4 games so far, 16 yellow cards. If you're ever wanting to just flick into see where those cards were awarded, you can do that. Who he's refereed and where the cards are. He's ref Manchester United against Brighton, where he produced 5 cards. He's ref some big teams, hasn't he? Let's look at his record from the previous season, 27 games, 3.89. So he's probably on the high end of average, I would say, above average in terms of how many cards that he just produces generally. 1.59 per first half, 2.52. It's always more in the second half. It doesn't matter which referee you're looking at it or which league or whatever. The general trend in football is that there's more cards in the second half. Both teams have been booked in 85% of his games. That was in last season's Premier League. So if you are looking at a bet builder, this could be something to throw in there as well. Here we are then with player stats. Let's take a look at this season's, and then I will toggle to view last season's form, just because we're still early doors, aren't we, at the minute. Top scorer is Martinelli, 3 goals in 5 games. I've had him in since day one in fantasy football. Gabriel Jesus obviously up there. Jadon Sancho with 2 goals. He started the season well. Not many goal scorers, or the goal scorers are quite spread out between Manchester United. Let's take a look at fouls committed. If you're looking at card bets, Scott McTominay. Will he play though? I mentioned this earlier in the video. I think Casemiro will get his first start. I think he'll get the nod. But that doesn't mean McTominay doesn't play. He might play Casemiro and McTominay. They were both on the pitch at the same time against Leicester, for a period at least. Jesus commits fouls, 1.66 per game. If we toggle for per 90 on this, it'll show us a breakup, and you usually get some high numbers for substitutes that have come on, and you know, between their substitute appearances they've played more than 90 minutes and they're just sort of going at it as soon as they get on, and they do give away a few fouls. McTominay's right up there. Malacia is up there as well, 2.29 fouls per game. This is obviously a rivalry, an old Premier League rivalry. I think there will be cards. We've looked at the referee stats. The average is 4 per game. Malacia, I like the look of for a card. He's going to play. That's one thing. He's unlikely to be subbed, and he gets forward, so he might be getting caught out a little bit. Saka is playing very well. Martinelli on the other side against Dalot, but you see here Dalot 1.61. If we look at the yellow cards, who's actually got a yellow card so far? Change this back to the totals. So Dalot has 3 yellow cards already this season. Wow. And he's playing against Martinelli. That's pretty good. Ben White's got 2 already. He got 1 in the opening game because I had him on for that game. I remember him and Klein as a double, 46-1 I think it was, which was a nice way to start the season. Harry Maguire, 2 games, 2 cards. But Tomine, 3 cards in 5 games. It's the usual suspects, isn't it? Xhaka's got 1. Xhaka's due 1, isn't he? And without Partey and El Neni next to him, he might be having to do a bit more work. So Xhaka, it's an obvious one. The odds will probably be quite low, but why not?